What the hell? What? Oh, come on! You gotta be. The damn ass microwave broke down. Are you freaking. I guess I'm eating a cold pocket now. Just the way I like it. Whoa! Ow, my face. Ah. Oh. Oh, man. That was a perfectly good cold hot pocket. Oh. 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 Verse 1 ends. Here I stand, flashing back on all the memories. The memories of my dog, Muffin, Zelda Bruno. After everything we had done, it was hard to believe my Muffin only had death to come. Tears streamed down my face with these thoughts, held in my hands like the last two mementos which she had brought. A clay paw print, the last surface her feet would ever grace, and a piece of her, the last thing I own, which belongs to her. I may never see my dog again, but I'll never forget her story. Verse 2. The first light. I remember how it all began. I was at the age of 3 when my parents bought Muffin. However, she was not for me. Nicole was my sister. She got her first dog when she turned 8. If only we could tell her what was to come of this pending heartbreak. Being children, of course we were so naive. Being children, death wasn't something either of us had to believe. It was the farthest thing from our minds, and yet as time crept up from behind, the reality of death would soon see its first light upon us, in due time. Verse 3. Dog fights. I remember when the tragedies threatened her. 1 year, Muffin's hind leg was injured. It was such a shock at first. The experience nearly caused our naive minds to burst. My parents spent a fortune to get it fixed. Some time at the vet was even thrown in the mix. And after all was said and done, when we thought Muffin's battle had been won, she blew out her other hind leg. Her battle ensued as prayer turned to beg. Again, when all seemed well, life hit the fan and things went to hell. Fate backed us into a corner as we discovered Muffin had kidney failure. It was like a rapid fire, one nightmare after another. But my first dog was a fighter, and Muffin fought it all, even to the very end. Verse 4. Into the darkness. Muffin was overcome by the age of 10. All 3 injuries were back in full. Soon my sister's tears grew to rivers of lament. She never thought she'd see her dog become a vegetable. With not the strength to eat, Muffin starved by her food dispenser. To make her kidney failure recede, we could not afford the expense for. With not a leg to stand on, Muffin was carried where she needed to go. That she would get better, we can only hope. She did not. Realizing this, my dad told me what had to be done. My ears stung, my heart shattered, my mind splattered. It was as if the reality of death had finished making renovations in the faculties of my id. Muffin hadn't just been a pet. She was always a member of the family to me, even as a kid. I couldn't let her face that darkness alone. Verse 5. The greatest despair. I remember what was to be Muffin's end. After we pulled up to the veterinarian, as if she knew there was someone that she didn't want to meet, Muffin held fast to the car seat. Clawing for dear life, we knew why she was upset. Muffin had always hated the vet. After all she had to endure, who could blame her? But we knew she was far too sick. Eventually, she gave up, also realizing this. My dad had said earlier that we were doing Muffin a favor, so we carried her one step at a time, each step making me feel like a savior, each step making me feel like a murderer. Verse 6. The Hazel Stair. As I held her paw, I gazed into her big hazel eyes. I knew she knew it would be for the last time. A hard stare out the window. That was the final movement my Muffin made. Almost as if someone had arrived there to whisk her away. Was it God? Was it heaven? Doesn't this poem corroborate me? Is not this verse 7? God is just dog backwards, right? Don't all dogs go to heaven? I don't know the answers now. I didn't know the answers then. In that moment, one thing was for sure, however. She had left me. She had left my family forever. Muffin had died. So I mourned, and I cried. Time felt like an eternity, gazing into those big, hazel eyes. Verse 7. The last memento. And now, here I stand, holding the print of her paw, knowing I'll never forget the things that I saw. But after some serious debate, after finally accepting her fate, I realized the truth of it all. Muffin may be gone, but she left me something else. Something that's not a piece of fur or even a part of her. No, it's something much better. It's a timeless gift that will never die. Memory.